Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the weekend roundup.
It's the weekend again! Woo!
Ben's always really excited for these. All right.
I'm ready for the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend's a good thing. All right, guys, let's talk about Google Stadia. Everybody knows it's a trash fire. But if you were waiting for the free version of that trash fire, keep waiting. I don't know why you'd want a free trash fire, but just in case, because the head of Stadia said the free version Stadia base is still months away. In an interview with the tech publication Protocol, Phil Harrison, a Google VP, said that the free version still a ways off. Specifically, he said, over the next few months, you will be able to experience Stadia for free. Ooh, no money down without having to put a box in your home. You can just click and play amazing games straight from our data center. If only it actually worked that way. All right, let's ignore the second part of that quote and focus on the next few months part. Does that mean 2 months? 4? What's a few? Could it be 5? We're already in February, so it sounds like you're gonna have to wait at least until April. Until then, the only way to play still is through a pro membership. That's gonna cost you $10 a month after the 3-month free trial has ended. Oh, and you already had to pay $130 for the controller bundle. Is it worth $10 a month at this point, Ben?
No.
All right, but what about more games? Those are coming, right? Just a few weeks ago, Google folks were saying that more than 120 games are coming to Stadia in 2020. That's great, right? But it seems to have been already revised down. In this new interview with Protocol, they quote Google as saying it intends to bring more than 100 additional games to the platform this year. We've already lost 20 games and we still don't know what any of them are gonna be yet. Stadia's killing off more studios than EA. It hurts because it's true. The Protocol article went on to say that Google announced a partnership last month with Activision Blizzard to host Activision Blizzard games on Google's cloud and to broadcast tournaments on YouTube. That's cool, so we should expect Activision Blizzard games on Stadia soon, right? Nope. That deal apparently didn't include putting Activision Blizzard games on Stadia, because they aren't stupid. They also said that EA hasn't been, quote, brought onto Stadia either. What is on Stadia? Harrison declined to comment about any of this, but he gave some quote about how cloud gaming's gonna be all the rage. He said, from a broader industry perspective, we are now seeing the shift from games being device-centric, which has been the model for the last 40 years, to a model where the data center becomes the platform. The shift to cloud will be the defining change in how games are created and played. I hate when people talk about video games that way. I feel like that is what has ruined the industry. But also, to run a gaming platform, you need, call me crazy, games. Meanwhile, there's another cloud gaming service that launched, NVIDIA's GeForce Now, which lets you play games that you already own on any Windows PC, a Mac, or an Android device. After a beta, it was released to the public this week. Ars Technica actually liked it. They said it was mostly a stunner. Oh, and it's got a free option too. Imagine that. Moving on, the man behind Gears 5 is headed to Blizzard. Rod Ferguson has been with the Coalition, which is the Microsoft studio in charge of the Gears of War franchise, since 2015, but his career dates all the way back to the 90s. The industry veteran tweeted that starting in March, I will join Blizzard to oversee the Diablo franchise. Leaving is bittersweet, as I love our Gears family, the fans, and everyone at the Coalition and Xbox. Thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you all. That means, obviously, he will oversee Diablo 4, which is in the works, and boy, does Blizzard need a hit right now. Speaking of Blizzard, they apologized this week for the mess that is Warcraft III Reforged. In a developer update on the Blizzard forums, they wrote, "We're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted." Which kind of sounds a lot like, I'm sorry you took that the wrong way. They added that they're committed to supporting the game for a long time to come, and they called it, quote, an integral part of the Blizzard DNA. And then they said, that phrase is copyrighted, and if you use that, we'll sue you. They said they're also working on fixing various bugs, and they said that missing online features like leaderboards and clans will be included in an upcoming major patch. They also addressed the controversy over the cutscenes in Reforged, namely that they didn't look anything like what had previously been shown off. Blizzard said, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game. The campaigns tell one of the classic stories in Warcraft history, and we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive these unforgettable moments as they were, albeit rebuilt with new animations and the higher fidelity art. That is some gaslighting stuff right there. Like, oh, we always meant it to be this way. No, you showed a bunch of new cutscenes. The good news is if you want your money back, they're offering refunds, and while normally they have time limits for those refunds, in a recent update they wrote that we want to give players the option of a refund if they feel that Warcraft III Reforged does not provide the experience they wanted, so we've decided to allow refunds upon request for the time being. So there you go, you can get a refund. Forget this ever happened. All right, the past year wasn't the best for Ubisoft, but they say they've got 5 AAA games in the works for the upcoming fiscal year. In a recent earnings report, they said they're going to release all those games during the 2020-2021 fiscal year. That actually starts in April, so it's just around the corner. 3 of those are Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legions. As for the other 2, they didn't name those. Jason Schreier said there'll be new Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games. We do know what won't be in there. CEO Yves Guillemot said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not one of them, so more of a wait there. There's been some controversy in the Smash Bros. Ultimate universe about all the Fire Emblem characters, because there are a lot of them already, and then the latest fighter was revealed to be Byleth from the Fire Emblem Three Houses game, which was a great game. I love that game. I played it through twice, had to get with Edelgard. Anyway, apparently the series boss, Masahiro Sakurai, agrees with the criticism, and he basically says, "Don't blame me, I don't pick them." In an interview with Famitsu, he said, "I don't choose the fighters based on my own preference. That's for Nintendo to bring in." Ah, yes, the old blame your boss defense. I know it very well. If this read sucks, it's Autumn's fault. He added, "There are too many Fire Emblem characters, and there are too many Sword characters. I too understand. However, these things are already decided, so we move forward." But he added that since there are too many Sword characters, we make them all have their own tactics that are unique to the fighter. That's definitely true about Byleth. I mean, they added some kind of grappling hook stuff, so he's trying his best, guys. Just, it's not up to him. All right, time for a 5-second review. Damn, Kentucky is f***ed up. All right, now coming soon, games that are coming up this next week. First up is Yakuza 5 Remastered. The legendary dragon returns to the criminal underworld of Yakuza. Kazuma Kiryu, once known as the Dragon of Dojima, was living a quiet life as a taxi driver in Hakata after severing all his ties with the underworld. However, at the dawn of the bloody war between the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance, Kazuma is forced to accept his inescapable fate and return to a life filled with crime and violence to protect his loved ones. Also, I assumed Uber and Lyft ran him out of business. It's out for the PS4, February 11th. Darksburg is a cooperative zombie survival action game from developer Shiro Games. They also made the Northgard and Evoland series. Choose from one of 4 playable survivors and fight back against an undead horde assaulting the medieval city of Darksburg. Coordinate with up to 3 other players to stem the zombie tide, unleashing powerful skills and special abilities across objective-based maps. Indulge your dark side in Versus mode by controlling powerful revenants, fearsome zombies capable of halting the survivors' advances. Darksburg's early access release features 4 playable characters, including Barag, a vicious wolfman with a soft spot for humans and a taste for zombie flesh, and Sister Abigail, a holy nun hell-bent on keeping her home safe. 5 maps set in various districts of the cities and 3 game modes. It's coming to early access February 12th. Necronator Dead Wrong is a comedic micro RTS game with a deck building twist. That's a lot of stuff. Collect and deploy undead units and build an army to conquer the insufferable goody two-shoes of the Livemore Alliance. Raise the Dead, Drop the Mic. It's out for Steam early access February 13th. Super Loop Drive is described as an addicting crash game. Play tracks with easy and hard difficulty options, unique environments, and iconic cars from the 70s. Ooh, I wonder if the Ford Pinto will be in there. Adjust your speed as you accelerate and brake at the right moments to avoid crashing into another vehicle. Earn more coins with every loop, unlock cars, expand your collection, see what suits you best. It's your game, have fun. It's coming to the Switch February 13th. Goblin Sword is a retro-inspired action platformer with light RPG elements. An army of monsters led by an evil wizard has invaded your hometown. Slay as many as you can, collect loot, avoid dangerous traps, and defeat menacing bosses before facing the evil wizard himself. It's got 89 levels, 13 bosses, 30 weapons, 30 relics that grant you abilities, 14 costumes, 8 guardians that follow you around and help you, and 5 secret very hard levels. It's out for Switch February 13th. Rise of Insanity is set in America in the 70s, and it centers around Dr. Stephen Dowell, a renowned psychologist faced with a difficult patient who shows distinct yet contradictory symptoms of different mental disorders. And since the 70s, I assume nobody has shaved their pubes. The life of the doctor himself is also shrouded in mystery. You must step into his shoes to help find out the truth. What terrible fate has befallen your wife and child? Is your new patient, on whom you are testing your experimental treatment methods, somehow responsible for what happened? Who's to blame? Don't lose your nerve. Overcome your fear. It's out for the Switch February 13th. All right, Darksiders Genesis is coming. It's an action-adventure game that tears its way through hell and back with guns blazing and swords swinging. Genesis gives players their first look at the world of Darksiders before the events of the original game. I believe that's called a prequel. Furthermore, it introduces the fourth and last horseman, Strife, as well as co-op gameplay for the first time in the history of the franchise. It's out for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch February 14th. Rule the ring with Street Fighter V Champion Edition, the most robust version of the acclaimed fighting game. Oh wow, they will always introduce new stuff for you to pay for in Street Fighter. Street Fighter V Champion Edition will include all content excluding Fighting Chance costumes, brand collaboration costumes, and Capcom Pro Tour DLC from both the original release and Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. There's always so many caveats. Champion Edition adds each character, stage, and other content that released after Arcade Edition and will include all launch content coming to this new version. It comes to PC, PS4, February 14th. Dreams is an extraordinary, ever-expanding game universe from the award-winning media Molecule. They did Little Big Planet and Tearaway. Oh, both great games where you can discover community-made games from around the world and learn to make your own. The latest evolution of the studio's play, create, share maxim, Dreams gives you the opportunity to unleash your creativity, bring your ideas to life with innovative, easy-to-use tools, and then share them with a global community. Whether you want to create games, music, paintings, animation, sculpture, movies, or anything in between, Dreams is an extraordinary digital playground where anything is possible. Damn, that sounds intimidating. It's out for the PS4. It's out for the PS4 February 15th. That's all the news we've got for you this week, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Zach, you're a huge Stadia fan. Why don't you tell us about these other fans?
Good. Wow, really great toss. Yeah, as a devoted Stadiite, there's still a base of us fans who've stuck by Stadia. They're all determined to wring out some joy of their $130 controller bundles.
Oh.
This makes me sad to say. Yeah, these people will outlive us all in the